Hey guys, it's Tyler, and welcome to another CGS live stream. So we're going to continue working on some decorative UI and frame design. This is part 4 in the series. If you guys have been following along, excellent. And I think this is going to be the last one. At least that's what I've titled it, so we should try to live up to the name there, and we'll see what we can do here. So I popped in some fonts and just started playing around with that, but we're going to dive back into the render of the actual design here. I'm going to mask out a portion of it so that we can start to play with a bit of hue variation in the metal here. We'll inject some subtle colors. We'll just keep refining things, and of course we're going to have to enhance the contrast a bit to get this to really pop, but I think it's heading in an awesome direction so far. So again, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoy it, and let's dive in here. So we're painting a mask, so we're going to choose an obnoxious color that we can see really easily. And I think I might do 2 masks. So I'm contemplating maybe the rings being different. Perhaps we'll do sort of a 3-tone situation. So let's do this part first, though. This is the part that I know I want to be different. The nice thing here is that we will likely have to only paint a quarter of this mask, and then we can mirror it around. All right, we already got some people tuning in here. Hope you having a good week there. Anybody working on some art projects? At CGS, we've got a cool contest going on right now for Halloween. Calling the Headless Horseman contest, which is a way to get all the students involved, and there's some cool prizes as well. So that'll be fun to see everybody's entries at the end of the month here. When I'm painting masks like this, I like to use a brush that has shape dynamics turned on, set to pen pressure, so that I can get into all of the tiny crevices easily by just pushing a little bit lighter on the tablet. Now, do I want this ring to be, let's see, I have to make some choices here. Yeah, I think that ring wants to be a different region. But I'm going to make this center part of this first mask. Okay, cool. Let's make the outer edge also part of that. And I think this inner frame will also be included. And this little guy right here. And then I think we'll do this part too. I'm going to keep that the same on both sides. That was a tricky one. Oh, a little off. 1 pixel. Whoops. Let's see. Can I eyeball it from here? Probably not. That's a little workaround there. Okay. Well, I think that's good for the first masking region. And the nice thing is, once we've defined one mask region, we can use the inverse of that to start doing the next mask, right? So we don't have to be quite as careful about edges. Some of those already predefined for us. So I'll select the outline of the first mask. We'll do a new layer here. We'll invert the selection and use that as an alpha for the new second mask. Let's put these in a group to stay organized. We'll call this masks. This is region 1. Now we're on region 2. Pick another super bright color. Do purple. Okay. Make sure we get all the little gaps there. So we've got, I'll have to delete the glass section out of there, but that won't be too much trouble. Yeah, I can see there's a couple little weird spots here and there, which we can clean that up in the final pass. Not super worried about that stuff. You try to eyeball the size and you're a little off with it, you can go to select, modify, expand, or contract, and tweak the selection. So we can see there that's a little off. Let's try 7 pixels. Yeah, still too much. Let's try 4 pixels. Better. Okay, so that completes the second mask region. We just got to now do some mirroring there and get it everywhere. And I realized that I probably wanted to include the outer ring of this in, I guess, the red region. Yeah. So let's go back and do that. Actually, you know what, the glass, no, we're fine. The glass is on top, right? So we don't actually need to delete any of that. That's cool. Saves us some time. And I'm gonna leave the center elements here stone like the background. Now we can hide the masks. We don't really need those anymore. And begin some fun little color tweaks. I'm going to start with a color layer here, but we may change that. We may change our mind. We might switch to a different blending mode depending on how it's looking. Interesting. Notice there's something screwy with that mask there. I don't know what happened with that. You know what I did? That was my bad. I put that color region. I know exactly what happened there. Jeez. That should be underneath. That's what was the problem. Okay, cool. We're good. I was like looking around like, wait a minute, edges are all jacked. Mystery solved. So basically, to recap what we just did here, we injected some subtle hue variation with some of those masked regions. I applied a general color, which was warm, and then with the select color range, I took a part of the values out and made those parts cool. So we have some warm and cool play happening in the metal, and so that adds some nice vibrance, a sense of environment to the reflections in the metal. It's just a little bit more fun for the eyes. So what I'm doing here now is I'm kind of riffing off of some of the color play that's happening in the image and pushing and pulling it around, enhancing it in some areas, and we'll just kind of keep working that up a little bit here. And then we'll kind of start popping those highlights a bit more. Yeah, that's basically where we're at with it. What I always find kind of amazing is just how much color play you can get away with and have the elements still feel like the color you're intending it to feel like. Because in your mind you're thinking, well, this is like a copper, right? And so we need it to be copper color. Or, you know, this person has this kind of skin tone. Okay, well, let's pick that skin tone, plop it on, right? But there are so many colors happening in skin tones and reflections and yeah, it's just ripe with opportunities to inject color variation. I have to be a little careful about skewing values. We don't want to destroy the values we've established, but just keeping an eye on it and sampling in the region of value you're going to be messing with. We'll keep that stuff in check. In an ideal world, we would have the color of the glass sort of like reflecting and bouncing in the metal, but unfortunately, I need this to be variable in terms of all the color variation that I can put on the glass is going to be multiple versions of this, so I can't lock into that too heavily. What I'll probably do as a workaround is I might put a bit of a soft light layer on top that I can tweak independently of the metal stuff. So when the glass color changes, I can tweak the soft light layer and it will feel as though the color of the glass is sort of shifting the reflections on the metal. That'll just be that extra layer of fun details. Playing around with some color balance there. As the piece gets closer to being done, your perspective on the palette might shift a bit. So always be open to exploring options. I'm just loving these little lavender tones popping in. Because what happens is, if we want to really bring out the warmth of those copper tones, we need something nearby that is a relative difference, right? Because the comparison between the two causes each one to feel, you know, more intense. It's a really important concept to understand with art is that relative comparison that we do with our eyes. And I could duplicate some of this stuff around, but I like the extra bit of asymmetry that we're adding in the image by hand painting these things, and it's not taking us that long, so I think it's worth it in the end. And you can use these changes in hue to also help a form change direction, like a planar change on a surface, right? So if you want to indicate like a curve bending around something, you can have the hue shift as it turns. That's a powerful way to use that. Here we're just sort of using it to add some interest and vibrance to the surface. But we could do it like if we had a scene where we had multiple lights, we could play with different colors of lights hitting an object from different sides. And then when we hit that sort of coarse shadow, the hue is shifting as well as it kind of gets to the other side, right? So that can just really make that form feel super three-dimensional. If you guys want to see some really powerful use of color, take a look at an artist named Basil Gogos. He's a really highly regarded artist who worked on a lot of horror movie posters and horror movie art. If you want to see some crazy bold use of colors, take a look at his work. Basil Gogos. You have to be careful too when you're doing these kind of changes, because sometimes when you've been looking at something for a while, you'll respond positively to any major change because it feels fresh to you. So just, you gotta be a little careful about that. What I'm doing here is playing around with the background element feeling more separate from the other elements. As a test, I'm actually not really committing to this yet. I'm not feeling it quite yet. I'm not sure if I'd like to do that or not. Yeah, I think it just becomes... I don't think I'm liking it as separated like that. I think I like it more together. Yeah. Okay, let's bring in some of those blue tones into the frame here. Unfortunately, some of this stuff's going to get cut off when it gets printed, but it's okay. It's good practice and makes the whole thing look good. Just gives me a good feeling of completeness. And you guys can see I'm being pretty rough with this. It's totally cool at this stage. I'm just injecting some energy back into it. Gives it a bit of a painterly quality. If you're not going for that look, then you'd certainly want to think about using more precision style of strokes or gradients or selection regions, right? But it's not really what I'm going for here. Just going to see how far I can push that before it starts to feel a bit too much. That was a little too much, but again, I'm always surprised at how far I can take it. And the thing is too, as you add more of this color variation, you'll notice that you can get away with more and more. It's like you can kind of just keep going and going with it until you reach a level where the piece is just soaked with color, you know, just super rich, and you have to just kind of figure out where you want to live on that spectrum. All right, let's see what we can do in here. If there's any, I think we want to maybe bring out some of the yellows in this section here. Yeah. Hey, Blasphemer. Welcome in. Okay, let's see here. Hey, Rushback. It's actually Tyler. Brandon's our head of department. So I kept those super hot highlights on a different layer to control how much I might want of those, because it's easy to get carried away with that. like it right about there. Some of those were just getting a little too green feeling, so I was shifting that a slight bit over. Yeah, okay, cool. It's starting to lock in, I think. Okay. Now, regarding the glass, I was thinking about this, and we could go with a flat glass. We could also go with sort of a domed glass. There could be like energy inside the orb. If it is sort of domed, let's tinker around with that a little bit. Actually, we've got that selection already made for us, don't we? Expand our layer palette here. I think we've got... Well, it's on one of these. There we go. There's something that is tinting this. Or perhaps not. Let me see. Am I? There we go. Okay, there's something in the stack there that was causing that to look a little bit odd. But I do want the mask to be applied so we don't have the overlap happening. So let's apply that there. Cool. You can kind of decide how subtle you want to go with these reflections, right? It can get quite intense if you want to. It's really just about the environment it's in. I mean, it's reflecting whatever's in front, and we don't really see that, right? So we have complete control over what we want to show there. And in this case, we want the number to be clearly legible, so we don't want to do anything super crazy on top there. So I think a little bit goes a long way in that application. And just so you guys know too, the way I did that was painted in some rim lighting with a soft white brush, and then scaled it in slightly, and then erased on the inside to kind of keep that around the perimeter there. It gives us a globe-like feel. But yeah, I mean, you could, if you have some kind of highlights coming on top, you can play around with how you want that to feel, right? You can have this reflecting some light from below. We could have some shadowing from this section here. Let's play around with that. We'll do a multiply. All right, so now you really start to get that globe-like feel going on, which I think is It's cool. I think it's adding a nice dimension to those areas. It keeps the numbers legible, but doesn't feel as flat or as unfinished as the sort of raw version we had here. So I think that's a good blend. So I think that's what we'll stick with. So now we've just got to pop that over to the other ones. That's cool seeing that, right? Little floating orb there. That's interesting. Why is that not masking that properly? Interesting. I guess we'll have to paint that out. No worries. There we go. Oh, thanks, Rushback. Appreciate that. Yeah, that mask is just not doing exactly what we want, but easy fix, easy fix. All right, should we see how that looks on the smaller ones now too? I mean, we might as well just continue the motif, right? I think that's working well. Let's just keep rolling with it. Okay, now I'm gonna have to clean the mask up more. I just realized I was painting a bit sloppily and didn't consider the fact that that's going to need to be visible in that area. Oh, I see what's going to happen here. Yes, indeed. All right. That's just fine. Put you in a new group. How's that? You can get your own group. And that should have its own mask region from below, right? So we need to just look for that. This was the stat glass there. Oh, the icon glass did not have. Actually, wait a minute. Let's see. Does that even need? Maybe we don't even need to worry about that. Hold on. Hold everything. I think we just... Yeah, never mind. We just solved the problem on our own. Yeah, bear with me, guys. Sometimes a brain fart occurs. And I'm going to soften that up a bit. I mean, hell, maybe we'll just even kind of smoke that out a little bit. Pull it in a tad. Yeah. Let's redo that section there. That was just not working for me. Cool, there we go. Does the reflection change to every glass? Yeah, it would definitely change a bit. And we'll go in and we'll like move stuff around a bit. I'm just kind of getting them all in place. Well, it's depends on the distance, right? Like if it's about position of the light compared to the position of the object. So if this light that's causing this little reflection here is super far away, then the difference in angle between this object and this object from the light is going to be very, very similar, right? They're not going to be that different, so it's not going to move as much. If the light was right on top of this thing, like right here, then this angle between this one and this one is quite different, right? So it's all about just drawing the angle. There's a scenario where this reflection being the same in all of them would be fine, but I don't want to necessarily do that because at first glance it looks like we've copy and pasted it around, and I don't want that to be the effect. So I'm going to kind of move it around a little bit, and we have our lighting is on the metal parts is coming from the middle, right? That's generally how we've lit this scene. So I'm going to have these highlights shifted so that it looks like they're more reflecting light from this middle there, and these side rim lights here are just sort of imagined to give some dimensionality to it. I hope that made sense. In fact, the easiest way to deal with that is to just go to flip it, right? That's the easiest way to do that. Or just rotate it, but see, I don't like that execution. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, you have to get into like the logic of it is the best way to solve that sort of thing. Let's adjust these real quick. Let's do the quick flip. And I'm going to move that highlight though because I want it to be visible. And sure, that's maybe fudging it a bit there, but I like being able to see it. Okay, cool. So now those glass elements have a bit of dimension to them. Oh, let's do these ones in the corner here too. Can't forget about those guys. Now let's use one of these in this position. Rotate it a little bit. That's kind of cool, right? Seeing the glass color turned off. What I want to do though is I think this purple is just a bit too dark. I think we're going to have problems seeing the icons there. So let's adjust that. Very subtle color shifts going on, but I'm just like continuing to evaluate. All right, so icons, right? Let's see here. I've got just a few pictures that I gathered to aid our icon creation process here. Let's see. All right, so yeah, let's kind of revisit this for a moment. So if you guys were not here for the very first stream for this, we talked about the 6 stats that are represented on the back of the card here. So we have charisma. Where are the? Let's see, I have the. Hold on, let me just pull up the icon. Okay, yeah, here we go. So we have strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma, right? So we played around with some different options here, just quick little doodles to work through what might work for all of these, and we ended up choosing a fist here, like I guess a little bit of like a gauntlet. We chose a small sword, a running person, a brain, a book, and a lion head. Those are the icons we're going to use for these. And these are just really quick doodles, right? So we've got to do some nicer looking ones. So I have here some images from online, just random reference to inspire us and guide us. So let's dive into that. Just shift the hue around a little bit. What does that do? Boy, that's bizarre, right? Okay. We'll probably continue to tweak that a little bit, but all right. Let's give ourselves a new layer group. Call this icons. Let's paint nice regular flat black brush here. Oops. I want black, not white. And these are small, so we have to be very careful about readability on these. And we may not be able to get into too much detail. So I'm going to keep them kind of simple. We'll see what we can get away with. We got this like medieval gauntlet over here too. It's got a lot of cool details, but you know, we may not be able to get all that in here, so. And these are going to be sort of like black, I think. Let's see. We'll play around with this and see what we can come up with here. And it's different styles, different ways of approaching this sort of thing. Let's just kind of block this in first and see how that's reading. I mean, maybe an outline is better. Let's go back. Fill it in. You could not fill it in. You can go with heavy shadows too. And I don't think I want to get into gradating things. I think we'll keep this on the simpler side. It might even be that we have to put a highlight behind this. Okay, I think it's a good starting point there. Let's see how the other ones manifest, and then maybe we'll go back and tweak. But I think it's looking pretty good. Let's move on to Dexterity, which is a little sword. I'm going to do this straight up and down first so I can benefit from some nice symmetry and mirroring. And this sword is going to be maybe a little bit sort of stumpy looking, but it's an icon, so there's some things we have to sort of live with there. Yeah, I don't want to make this too complex. May have to enhance the shadows a bit on this. All right, cool. Okay, who's next? We got the little running guy. This is Constitution. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. How are you doing? Here's our little running guy right here. Of course, we're not going to be able to get into too much detail. I just wanted to have kind of reference up for this little jogging pose here. Now, the interesting thing about this one is this: we're going to have a consistent style here, but there's not a lot of volume to this silhouette, so let's see what we can figure out here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna kick that arm back a little bit further so we can see the negative space there. This is one of those things to consider in terms of silhouette, right? Maybe let's see if I can kick this arm back even further. Actually, let's do this. It's a little puzzle, right? You got to figure out what shapes you want to bring forward. I think that's generally how I want to approach that. I might fudge the volume a little bit to just get it to fill the sphere a little bit better. Let's do that. It's kind of a hack. That makes them feel even more dynamic, right? Do I like that tilt? Sure, why not? Okay. Let's add the highlight behind and see how it looks. I may shift that little highlight over a tad just because of the unfortunate tangent happening there between the head and the highlight, but that's an easy fix. I wonder if maybe we do something like a few, oops, sort of like action-y lines like shooting off here. Can we get away with that? Does that feel weird? Okay, cool. I think I like that. Just kind of bulks the icon up a little bit, gives a bit of action. All right, moving on here. We gotta do a little brain. We got a brain right here. Okay, next one. What do we got here? Wisdom. It's going to be the book. Oops. Okay. Yeah, I just have a picture of a book here, just in case there's any little like subtleties that I want to capture. But again, these are so simple that we may not be able to really do a whole lot. I actually like the silhouette break there, so we'll leave that in. All right. Last one, charisma. Which is a lion head. We've got a real lion head here and a stylized lion head, which I think are both good sources of inspiration there. Want a little more sparkle to those highlights there. Okay, I want to play around with the color of the glass. Again, these is going to be different colors per card. I want to have the ability to kind of tweak that a bit, so I'm not going to get too obsessed with the colors here, but just for the sake of playing around with it a bit, I'm going to tinker. This one right here, okay. It's interesting how much those change the feel of the whole thing, right? I think that's pretty fun. I think something like that feels like it fits pretty well. Okay, so then finally we'll turn on the... Oh boy, where is it here? Got so many layers going on now. There's our grid. Okay, there's the sort of final little like logo element there. Very subtle, which is exactly what I wanted. Okay, there's the title. Turn the little bottom credits there. Now let's take this whole thing, move this over to this guy here, and we'll save this as the back texture. Now we're gonna just pop over here and did a little 3D scene just to show you guys how that'll end up looking in the end here, so we can see that's basically how the final cards will look. We got the character on the top there, and then we flip them over, we have our stats. And so there it is. Okay, well, there we go. Render was offset. So there's the character cards, and look at how you might approach decorative UI and frame design. And it's something that we might do again here on the channel. I might do some other kind of design where we might have to consider buttons, you know, a digital interface that has to scale. You know, it's something we can definitely look at. But I think next time here on the channel, we'll be doing something Halloween related. I'll do something spooky, maybe like a scary character bust, like a, you know, mummy or vampire or something. Yeah, just get in the spirit, right? It's my favorite time of year. So thank you guys for joining me, and I'll be back next Thursday, same time. So looking forward to seeing you guys there. But stay tuned for other awesome content here on the channel. Other great mentors doing all kinds of things here for CGS, 2D animation. There's industry talk. There's all kinds of cool stuff. So be sure and check that out. All right. But I think we'll end it here. All right. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.